Hi there, it's Mr. Clark. Welcome to lesson 6.3.1 on fourth species counterpoint. So first species was whole notes, second species was half notes, third species was quarter notes, so you wouldn't be wrong to think that fourth species would now be eighth notes, but it is in fact not eighth notes. We're back to half notes. But the new thing here is that we're tying half notes over the bar line. So again, whole notes in the given melody, and then offset whole notes, or half notes tied across the bar line in the counterpoint. So you start with the consonants on a weak beat, and then it's going to tie either into a consonance, like it does here, a third, in which case you can go anywhere, a consonant skip, just like second species, or it might tie into a dissonance on the downbeat. This is the first time we've been allowed to have a dissonance on the downbeat. And as any good suspension does, it must resolve down by step if that happens. So here we have another seventh going down to a sixth. Then you have a third here. That is not a dissonance, it's a consonant, so that can go anywhere. It goes to a unison. Third, fifth. Again, a third, so that can go anywhere. It goes up to a sixth. And now we have another 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6 to octave. So when you have a bunch of the same type of suspension in a row, that's called a chain of suspensions, because it's literally just like a bunch of suspensions in order, linked together like a chain. So the beginning usually starts on a half rest. You can start with a half note, but it's unusual, and none of these examples do. So the last measure has to be a whole note, like always. So the penultimate bar has to be a suspension, either a 7-6 suspension, like here, or a 2-3 suspension, if it's in the lower voice. Then the middle is characterized by suspensions. We talked about all of this here. In the upper voice, your suspensions can be 7-6, as they all are here. Trying to see if this provides any other examples. Here you have a 4-3. That's another allowed type. And then the other type would be a 9-8 suspension. Those are less common, but they do happen, like the very next bar. So 4-3 and 9-8. So those are the types you would find if the counterpoint is on top. 9-8 isn't preferred because it refers to a perfect consonant. It's not as common, but it does happen. 2-1 is not allowed because we don't like unisons in the middle of a phrase. Lower voice suspensions, you can have 2-3, 4-5, and 7-8. Let's see if we can find those. Oh yeah, I got a 2-3 right off the bat, nice and crunchy. Another 2-3 follows it. 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. So that's pretty common. Here we have a 4-5. And then do we have a 9-10? Well, that would be an octave equivalent. Do we have a 7-8? Yes, we do, right here. So all those types exist. Resolving up a 4-3 and a 7-6 would be tempting, but those aren't suspensions. Those would be retardations. So we don't allow those. So the way fourth species usually goes is it has chains of suspensions going downwards, and then consonant skips to bring us back up. So you have this kind of like a roller coaster. You can occasionally break species and have something not tied over the bar line, like here, but try not to do that too much, otherwise it starts to feel like second species. And again, you have a checklist if you're working by hand and not with Artusi. So, see you next time for our final species of counterpoint.